Thank you. All right, we're doing this. I have kicked the tires. First of all, you're going to see them in a second. Let's light them up. And one more thing has to happen as we push off from the gate. Leslie's going to remove the cat from her lap and the condom from that wine bottle. How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. How you doing? Hey, the Garry Meier road trip continues because you are not in your typical location. That's pretty exciting.
No, you're wrong. I've remodeled over the last week. Matt's
Oh,
company
really?
remodeled my whole basement, and now it's
Now
this.
it looks like a high rise in Chicago.
Because
That's
that's what he
that's how
does.
good he's that good.
He does high end. What is that?
It's a oyster-based Sauvignon Blanc. So I like my New Zealand whites.
Yes, you
Uh,
do. They matter. Okay, here we go. Three, two, one.
oh, that
Ooh,
was a good one.
that's the way the whole week's been going. Everything's popping, zigging, and zagging. And let me just tell you this: I was in a parking garage 5 minutes ago. Got caught in some traffic and got here at a minute to the top of the hour, plugged in, and then I realized I don't have a cocktail. So I said to Dave, where am I going to get a cocktail? He goes, I got some bourbon in the back in my office. I'll be right back.
Attaboy.
David Plyer is my host. And what's going to happen here, we'll be doing the cocktail show. And then right after, I will be doing radio, WGN radio with David Plyer. I'll be on his show after we do this at 7 Central.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
It's just you're hitting all sorts of amazing places on this tour.
Yes, I'm this week only the king of all media.
Well, so when we finally got to see you, it was 20 seconds before we
Right.
were actually starting the show.
You think I'm kidding? I was in the parking garage 5 minutes ago.
So I was given orders to jabber until Garry gets here. And I thought, dear God, but jabbering at the top of the show might involve me having to recognize some of you who have already checked in with us. And I thought, I don't have a screen door. And
I don't either. I didn't.
found a
I'm on the road
temporary
there.
screen from
Oh,
my
that's a
cat's
nice little
backpack.
screen door. Look
So
at
it's a
that.
screen window instead, but
Yes, it
no
is.
need for that. You're here, and we're glad that you made it.
Well, the thing is, there is a tornado watch in the Chicago area, and I said to David when he told me that, because they have this crawl in the studio here that is giving that warning. Tornado
Right.
watch for Kane, DuPage, Will,
Uh-oh.
Cook, Lake, Grundy, Kendall, beginning at 4:50 p.m. and ending at 11:20. Okay, so then I said to
That
David,
narrowed it down.
yeah, you got a window.
Thanks.
You got a window now, but you might not have it in a few hours.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I said to David, do you know what a tornado watch is? And he goes, yeah, it's where there's not one sighted yet. No. A tornado watch is when the big hand is on your trampoline and the little hand is on your tool shed in the back.
That is definitely a tornado watch.
That's a tornado watch. I got one for Christmas a few years ago. I love it.
Oh, very stylish.
Now,
Better than a Labubu. And we were talking about Labubus prior to the show.
yes, we were. Yes, we were. So we're going to have a lot of FUN on this program, and it's going to be with Dan Fedor. He's going to talk tech and then talk about his legal practice. And then Katie Sheridan will do her Gen Z report, and that will be a nice way to involve everybody in the festivities, meaning you, the viewer, because you, I think, like these people. They've been on before. And let's look at who's here. What do you say? You want to check? Oh, Keely Ann, she's here right out of the chute. It's county fair season. Feed a corn dog to your schnauzer while listening to CCR. Yeah, the Creedence Clearwater Revival Band is omnipresent at all carnivals.
Yes.
That's what they play when the ride that's held on by an ankle bracelet is about to leave the base of said ride and go out. All the accidents hopefully will have the people in the parking lot right next to their cars so they can drive themselves to the hospital.
Well, because nobody else is going to want to step up at
No.
that point. Got to see some great carnival footage of one of those rides where the big giant boat swings like a pendulum, except apparently somebody forgot to put the anchors on the front of the ride. But thank goodness there were big, heavy attendees who were willing to stand on the ride and hold it in place until it could come to a stop.
The confidence that you feel at one of these moving carnivals set up in a parking lot today and another one 100 miles away tomorrow, sign me up. That ride you just described. Thank you, Mr. David Plyer. Cheers,
Ooh,
everybody.
oh, that's very brown.
That's what my man does. That's what he. Oh, boom. Delicious.
Now you're going to be on terrestrial radio, so going to have to keep the swears in check.
I got to go from this to there's an FCC still in charge.
Right. And
but here's the thing, and we know this. We've been on AM, both of us. AM, while it has been somewhat vilified over the years or neglected or whatever we want to say.
It's all of those,
Yeah, like vilified in that, that's nothing anymore, right? Okay, wait a minute. Within the Chicago area, if you're listening to AM, if you hear crackling, okay, that means the storm is coming. FM doesn't do that. No. You're going to be listening to AC/DC and you're going to be dead because you're listening to FM. AM saves people's lives when there's a storm coming.
Isn't that special? Well, and you're in one of those studios, so when there is an actual weather alert, we're going to be one of the first podcasts to hear it because the sirens go off all over the station.
Yes, so I'm saving lives on a podcast. You don't hear that.
Meier. Thank you so
much. Is Joe Rogan saving any lives? Huh?
Not today. Well, that we love.
All right, back to the people who are here. It's Martin every week from BC. We love Martin. Hello, Martin. And Greg just got back from seeing Superman. Love bald Tom Cruise as Lex Luthor and Courtney Cox as is that true?
No, not even close. Rachel, what is her name? Branahan, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is Lois Lane, and Lex Luthor is God, I can't think of his name. About a Boy, really talented actor.
Okay.
Here, I'll use the interwebs and I'll let y'all know. But Oh, and their interesting story about the pay system on that movie. The two leads, Superman and Lois Lane, are not making as much as Lex Luthor. The two of them combined are not making as much money as Lex Luthor. So,
in
2025, accounting.
It still goes on. Yeah. And I saw Luke up on the screen there,
Ellen
right?
Tudyk, wait, come on.
All right, while you're looking at that.
Nicholas Hoult, thank you. Whew.
Okay.
Took me a minute.
Luke, happy Friday, GarrForce from a very humid chai. Now, this is a little inside baseball. Luke sent me a poster to sign. It's a radio promotion poster from a long time ago. And he said, can you sign this and send it back to me? No problem. Signed it and took it to the post office. And they took it. I paid them to take it to the destination. And they said it should arrive on this past Monday. It's Friday, still not in Luke's hands, and there's a tracking number. And I went to the tracking number, and they said, it's in motion, it's somewhere, it's going to the destination, and it's now a week later and still making its way to Luke's place. I'll keep tracking it, Luke. I'm sorry. This happens with USPS and United Parcel. I mean, I've tried both. You never know.
We've been so lucky with our Friday winners that none of the prize packages has gotten lost in transit. So hopefully we keep that going for a while.
What good is the tracking thing if they can't tell you exactly? They make you plug in 25 numbers, so it must be to the minute of where it is and everything. It's in transit. Didn't say where. Should be there sometime. Okay, thank you.
I saw somebody posted a situation where they put an air tag inside their luggage and the airline lost their luggage and they were able to call the airport and say, it's in the corner of this building in this exact spot. And they're like, yeah, still can't find it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
great.
And it's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, terrific. Okay, who else is here? Charles from WRLR, Gurnee, Illinois, checking in. Thank you, Charles. We always like seeing you here, as we do with Dale. And Dale is from Wheatfield, Indiana. And I spent some time with, this was I guess is a good friend of yours, Dale, Jim Foster, who was my radio producer, produces a radio show in Chicago. I was on that radio show yesterday morning, and I'm talking to Jim, and he said, that Dale from Wheatfield, he's a friend of mine. I think he went to school with you. Anyway, hello, Dale.
Small world.
Small world. It really is. David, visiting Iowa City, Schnauzer from Iowa City. Iowa looks exactly like a Schnauzer from Chicago, and I hope just as much fun. Okay, good. Bill, happy cocktail hour from Glendale, AZ. How hot is it there, I wonder?
It's probably 117 degrees, but it's a dry heat. And I got to say, and you probably recognize this because you were walking just about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Pretty damn humid out there.
Yes, it is. I went on a long walk yesterday and loved it, but yeah, I was a little sweaty at the end. Yeah. Mike.
A little sweaty. That was your nickname when you were doing radio at that station, wasn't it?
Yeah, a little sweat. Yeah.
A little sweaty. You were trying a rap career.
Exactly. So I always wore the do-rag on the show. Yeah. Great show last week on R. Is that
actually Mike was there, so yeah, he was present for it.
That was fun. Got to do that again. Samantha, she's in the GarrForce queue, and she's
she's in the northwest suburbs, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think she's in Mundelein, right? Am I right? And I know she does a mocktail. I think it's Mundelein, Illinois. Okay. And John, cocktail in hand, leading off the weekend with GarrForce Live. Greetings all from far, far northwest. Okay.
Is that like Oregon?
Like Washington State? Is that what he means? Cedar Falls, careful of the weather out there. Batten down those schnauzers. Will do. You don't want it to blow away. No.
Ooh.
Hold on to it tight. And Banana Man gearing up for B-Man's birthday.
Oh.
That would be his own birthday? It must be, right? Yeah.
Well, happy birthday, Banana Man.
Okay.
He should be receiving his prize packet if he hasn't already.
All right. Mike from Puerto Rico, happy convenience store day, everyone. Did you know 7-Eleven delivered ice to home ice boxes until the refrigerator showed up, then pivoted to retail, and the Slurpee was born? I don't know if he's making that up, but it's a cool story. I like it.
Thanks to artificial intelligence, I've got a story coming up. We don't know what to believe anymore. So
I'm glad you brought that up.
It doesn't hurt anybody.
Let me read. Wait, Brad. Let me read Brad, and I'm going to address that. Checking in from Scottsdale, AZ, where it's a breezy 107.
There you go.
On the David Plyer show on WGN Radio, starting at 7 Central, we're going to talk about AI. And then today, a listener sent me an AI clip that he made, and I said, and I have seen stuff like this before. I said, these two people that you have on this piece, they're not real. No, not at all. You can't tell.
No. I heard word that within the next year, with probably about what we used to call an elevator pitch, 5 or 6 sentences to sum up a movie, they will be able to create an entire 2-hour film using 0 actors and nothing but computer writers.
I know. It is I think it's frightening at this point because
It
of
is.
how
It
fast
kind of is.
it is
Yes.
improving. And
Yes.
as this listener said, I spent very little time on this, couple of these programs, and this is what I got for 30 seconds. And oh my God. All
Yeah.
right. And who else is here? Robert. Loved seeing you on tour last week from Matt's Barn. How about a Wisconsin stop in the future? Waukesha Ryan is not the only Gary Miller super fan, y'all. Hey there. Robert, I agree. If I could
Oh,
do a bus tour, uh,
oh my gosh. Yeah.
this is
Well,
what you just had. Wait, David, my host, handed me his phone and goes, Party Fuel Hard Slurpee Cocktail Recipe. 1/2 cherriesthebomb.com Slurpee. 1/2 Bloop Razzle Slurpee. 2 ounces ice cold vodka. Add your own. Freeze vodka
oh,
before using.
okay.
Okay.
Yummy.
Party Fuel Hard Slurpee. Are you making me that, or are you just? I mean, yeah, I'll take it. Oh, you mentioned the Slurpee. Okay, the Slurpee. You tied that in. Thank you.
Happy 7-Eleven. There you go.
All right. A couple others, and then we'll talk to Dan. David, I was all excited because this girl invited me over to play with her schnauzer. She actually had a dog. All right. Hey, hey. Yeah.
That's funny, David.
And Deb from Des Plaines, Illinois, checking in and ready for takeoff. I was right near Deb last night. This is a town that I've been applauding for many years, Rosemont, Illinois. I was in Rosemont,
Oh,
Illinois last night for a Doobie Brothers tribute band concert. And this town, it's technically where O'Hare Airport is located. And I worked in Des Plaines in the 70s, and Rosemont was just this little suburban town with go-kart tracks and greasy spoons. And the then mayor got rid of all that, and now it's a mini metropolis, and it hums real nice.
oh yeah. They
And
they
yeah,
recognize the future and dove straight into it.
every town should look at this and go, how can we do that? After the concert, there was a 25-minute fireworks display that was spectacular at this suburban little gathering.
A town of a really small population. It's all just visitors, and they have embraced the visitors in every fashion, including
Right.
the fact that they have this cool mall where they have arrival and departure boards throughout the mall so that people who have long layovers at O'Hare can go shopping and know when their plane's getting ready
That's
to
what I mean.
board and then just
Yeah,
come on.
yeah,
That's
it's all good. Uh,
awesome.
and who else? Couple more, and then let's.
Oh,
Cindy,
okay.
touch and go for me today. Promise to watch it all later. Rough week in Wheeling, Illinois. Well, we hope things get better,
Mhm.
Cindy. And the show is posted right after we do it. So if you can't catch it live, remember, it's still there somewhere afterwards.
Somebody was asking if we're going to take live phone calls. We aren't today, but we hope to very soon. I think that could be coming. So all these things are in the works,
Yeah,
Scott.
I'd love to. I love talking to the peoples. Greg, trays are in an upright and locked position. We don't expect any weather. Hopefully, we're hopefully going to avoid the goo, but we'll let you know if you have to strap in. Are you ready for some Danny Fedor?
I am always ready for Danny Fedor, as the rest of you should be, because he's a swell dude. There
Hey,
he is.
Dan,
Look at that face. What a guy.
what's going
Except he's
on?
muted for some reason.
Hello, am I muted? Can you hear me?
Now now
Well,
we can hear you.
you know,
Check 1 2.
the sad part is when I introduce the tech expert and he's not aware of what to do to open his microphone.
I was being unusually quiet. Hello, Gary. Great to
Hello.
see you.
Yes, and when we last talked, we were talking a lot about electric cars. And tell me if I got this right. They're taking away that credit for electric cars at some point. And I know there's a scramble for those people who want one to take advantage of that tax credit. Can you tell us
Yeah,
what's going on there?
yeah. I probably know about as much about it as everyone else, so to speak. It's because it's been so in the news. So, in short, I believe the $7,500 credit that you can receive for buying a electric car that's made in the U.S. will expire in September. But quite frankly, and not to sound arrogant, but I don't think that really moves the needle that much on someone who's going to buy an electric car now. You can lease an Ioniq 5, which is an electric vehicle from Hyundai for like $179 a month. I don't think it'll have that big of an impact. The real shame about it, I think it is that the more and more they make these cars, the better and better that they get. And so if we get behind on building these things, as everyone says, the Chinese are going to come out with an 1,100 mile range electric car, and we're still going to be driving basically horses and buggies. No offense, but it's just a shame. That's the real shame part of it, is that the more you do something, the better you get at it. And if we kind of curtail that drive, it's going to be tough. I think I say in the article, the head of Ford, Farley, is driving around a Chinese EV, and he's in love with it. So if that tells you anything.
Why would he do that?
Well, he wanted to see what they were like, so he had one brought over from China, and you can Google it. Jim Farley, right? Yeah, Jim Farley, Chris's brother, CEO of Ford Motor Company, has a Chinese EV that he claims is unbelievable, and I'm sure that it is. But
I don't know how that helps. What's the Ford version, the electric version at Ford?
They've got the Mach-E, which is a fantastically. Actually, Chevy just took over the top spot with the Equinox EV, but up until then, the Mach-E Mustang EV was the leader in American-made electric vehicle sales.
He's not Chris Farley's brother, thrice divorced, down by the river.
He is.
Oh, I thought you were kidding. You mean Chris Farley?
No, it's true. It's true.
Chris Farley, motivational speaker?
Yeah.
Is the head of Ford.
Yeah. The very, very successful little family, but his brother, I think all the two of them are at Ford, but one of the brothers is now I stand to be corrected, but this is, I'm 99.9% sure I'm right.
Okay, Leslie, while we're talking, will you fact check Mr. Fedor? Because that sounds kind of crazy.
I'm doing it now.
All right.
And I see a headline saying, with at least one famous relative, which tells me that somebody.
Do they look alike?
He is the cousin of entertainers Chris Farley, Kevin Farley, and John Farley.
You were close.
Okay.
Close.
So he is a relative, but yes.
All right. So, Dan, don't try to pull anything, because Leslie's standing by to correct anything that's said.
Rats. Well, closely.
But I don't understand what the point of that is. Again, why doesn't he drive one of the Ford electric vehicles and say, listen, this is the best there is? That just, I don't know. That seems bad.
I give him credit. Basically, I would say that it's more about he wanted to see what the competition was doing. And,
okay, I agree. That's fine. And but if he goes, wow, this is great.
He's quite concerned about what's happening with regard to that technology and not keeping up with it. So the chips will fall where they may. But yeah, that's the latest on the EV tax credit. Again, the prices have come down dramatically. The leases are ridiculously inexpensive for the EVs already. So I don't think the biggest problem isn't so much that credit; it's the stagnation we could have with the major American automobile producers. One last point: now they're going to have trouble selling their vehicles overseas because the Chinese are going to be flooding Europe, and they already are. The UK, Europe, Mexico, with their EVs. It's going to be harder for Ford, GM to compete offshore, which will impact them here. So stay tuned. But there are many
moving parts, no pun intended. And was
40% fewer moving parts in an EV than a.
There you go. I set you up for that one, brother. Was the EV invented in this country?
Well, Clara Ford. This one I know is true. We talked about this. Clara Ford drove an electric vehicle. Henry Ford's wife. Whether it was invented here or not, I don't know. But they're that old.
Okay, and that's what I heard. And the reason we didn't have them proliferate back then is because Rockefeller discovered oil and said, I got to use this for something, right? Let's get some engines that. No?
I think that was a tougher battery to maintain and have range
Yeah,
with.
the
So
technology, right,
yeah,
wasn't there,
it would have
right?
been a tougher road to get the kind of range you needed. But there's some, like most things, there's a little bit of truth in both of it. Now
Right.
you can make an argument that there's someone's putting their hand on the scale.
Well, I just think your point is well made in that this country really has been on the forefront of a lot of things, and we're letting other countries pass us by. And the space program, we put men on the moon several times 50 some years ago. Haven't done anything like that since. Are
That
those pictures? Who's on the moon there?
That's me in the crib. That my mom wrote on the back of this picture, 769 moon landing night. That's my
There,
dad, my sister, and my brother.
there you go, brother. I
Yeah,
saw that and I
they
thought,
can't. Yeah,
yeah,
and you look how hard it is, and they're fighting over who gets to have the space shuttle Discovery in their museum. How about we? How about we fight for who gets to build a rocket that can actually land somewhere?
yeah,
It's
you
concerning.
can't, right? You can't get lapped over and over and expect to catch up at some point.
Yeah,
'Cause you're,
yeah, it's
yeah,
tough,
yeah. Okay,
tough time.
so you have an electric vehicle,
Yep.
and which one is it?
The Nissan Aria. In fact, I just got a call from the dealer saying we'd like to buy your car back because there's a shortage. I've heard about that happened in the recession. That happened during the pandemic. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm not surprised.
And is there an attractive offer on the table?
They wanted me to bring it in. I didn't, but it might indicate there's some issues with production in the U.S. right now for a variety of reasons. But anyway, so I thought that was interesting.
And you did a road trip. Last time we talked, you did a road trip. We were trying to highlight where the charging stations, where that is right now. Are there enough of them? Are they continuing to put them up? What's the status?
Yeah, the bottom line is yes, and now Tesla still dominates the interstate stations, if you will. And now most manufacturers like Nissan, everybody, they'll make an adapter so that your car can use the Tesla chargers to charge no matter where you are. But bottom line is the chargers just keep getting put in. And once you get a charger in your house, you really never need a charger unless you're going on an interstate or long distance trip is when you need that high speed charger. So you don't need as many of those as you need gas stations, but there are plenty, and they're pretty much nationwide. So you can plan a trip out pretty well and know that you're going to be able to charge the vehicle every couple hundred miles on your way. It's a little bit of a different scenario, but it works, and I proved it, and we had very little issue.
And Tyler, who is in the house band Bon Journeyed on the GarrForce, he bought a Tesla a couple of weeks ago and was telling me that he has not touched the steering wheel to go anywhere since he bought it. He just programs in, sits there, and it takes him right to his parking space because
Yeah,
they have really improved that self-driving aspect. Is that what
yeah.
you've heard too?
Yeah, no, that's you can get self driving on the Tesla, and that's where not where it's autonomous by itself, but it's driving autonomously with you in it, and you can pay a little extra, like a subscription fee to Tesla for that service in your vehicle, and it works. There's videos on it on the internet. It's legal, it works, and it's amazing. And then on most cars, no matter gas or EV, on the highway at least, you can set it for self driving, and just basically take your hands off the wheel, your feet off the pedals, and keep your eyes straight. But times have changed. It's not the same. It's not your dad's car.
You said not autonomous by itself. Why would you want it to be off
Well,
on
what I
its
mean is
own?
like the Tesla self-driving feature is available with you in the vehicle. You're not doing anything, but you've got to be there. Now you've heard about the Tesla taxi where they're trying to go full bore. We're going to have Teslas as autonomous taxis, no one in the driver's seat. That's a slightly different scenario, and they're having some bumps and issues. Waymo is the one that's ahead of the game there with their self-driving taxis, but Musk is trying to have self-driving taxis. The service that your listeners having is autonomous, but you've got to be in the vehicle for it to work. If that makes sense, you can't just program your car and send it to Wendy's and have it come back.
Through the drive-through.
You
Yeah,
you could, but you can't.
right. Through the drive-through with a note on the window, I'd like 2 Wendy's hot burger, whatever their menu is. And
Don't
then
forget the Frosty.
Yeah, Frosty, and here's the money, and then it brings it home for you.
Right on.
We're not far from that and the Jetsons, are we?
We are not. We really are not. It's pretty amazing. I know we're going to talk a little law here, but I was thinking, I think I've said this before. Someone, I think it was sometime in the late 1800s, that the head of the patent office literally said, everything that can be invented has been invented.
So and that was what, 75 years ago?
He was going to shut down the patent office. So, don't be too quick. But
and then the Beatles walked in and wanted a contract, and he goes, guitar bands? Get out of here. Right. Yeah, that guy.
Went out with the covered wagon.
So the most disturbing, I guess, aspect of the electric vehicle, self-driving trucks being able to drive themselves without anybody behind the wheel, the whole trucking industry adapting to that, all these truck drivers out of work, or that whole industry of having a truck driver not even there anymore. How do you see that?
You bring up an interesting point. So there's a company called Aurora. I have no financial interest in this company whatsoever. Aurora is the Waymo of over the road trucking. They have begun making runs. Texas is the biggest trucking lane state in the country. There's most lanes, most heavily trafficked truck lanes are through Texas, and Aurora is trying to make a go at selling driverless over the road tractor trailers. And I was actually involved in that field when I was with Uber Freight, working with truckers, load, spot. It's a grueling business. I'm on the fence on this one because during the pandemic, there were truckers who were making less money than it cost them in fuel to make the runs they were being asked to make. Now, that's not always the case, but trucking is a tough business, and so it's like taxi a little bit. There's an argument. However, having said that, I am mostly concerned that, when Cruz had that accident with that woman in Arizona where they killed a woman in Arizona, even though there's a million accidents a day with distracted drivers, and there's going to be 100 accidents with truck drivers falling asleep, if you have one fatality with an autonomous truck, it's going to be really difficult for whoever that company is. And I'm not, again, making any predictions, but that's what I see the biggest concern there is that is just going to have so much attention on it, even though, again, if you compare it to how many truck drivers might cause accidents from a human standpoint, it's just going to be a tough PR situation if anything ever happens. Having said that, we're still years away from, what that truck has to do. It's not only got to go over the road, then it's got to get there, it's got to back in, it's got to do all, it's we're still a far cry away, but this stuff is just kind of creeping forward. And at some point, it may cause folks to have to find a different trade. But I think we're still many years away from that being a big concern.
Whenever you get into this discussion about technology and it taking jobs away, there's that person in the conversation that probably will pop in. Well, if it wasn't for progress, we'd still be riding horses. The guy that made the buggy whip, he went and did something else. He took care of cars then, or whatever. We have to move forward. But in this case, this stuff is moving so fast and eliminating jobs. If people don't have jobs, those things won't matter. How the merchandise is moved, people won't be able to buy it. So is that plausible in the argument?
Yeah, I do. One man's opinion. I do think we are in uncharted territory because of how fast things are moving, and no matter what the industry, right? Like I'm a lawyer, and there's big concern. Like Leslie was saying, AI making its own movie in 2 hours, or without any actors. You're going to be able to have AI write contracts and review contracts and things of that nature. Already are, basically. So every industry is looking at a big problem when it comes to AI, and no one is unaffected. And I would actually say that the industries that require mechanical combinations with AI, like the trucking, are safer than like a lawyer. You just need a software program to replace me. You don't need anything with wheels, right?
Yeah.
So the white collar industry is probably at more risk of being put out of business sooner than those who have to, drive for a living, because again, combining the software with the hardware is the bigger challenge. But it's a lot easier just to get somebody to be able to create and review contracts, or whatever it is the task was. So we are definitely at a interesting point in time that I don't think anyone thought about.
Dan, we're at a crossroads, and there's nobody in the vehicles at the crossroads.
Yeah, right.
Hello. Hey, now that we're talking AI, Ryan, do you want to pop that clip on that sent to me by
give me a second.
by GarrForce or Michael, and watch this? And all of this is fake, meaning these are not real people that you're going to see here. And he said, I spent very little time on this. I had a couple of programs that I plugged in and came up with this. And I looked at it. I don't know. I don't know where this can go. That's going to be super great for all of us. If you can.
I did get to watch both of my beavers this morning.
Yes. 2 beavers is better than 1. That's what I always say.
Beaver was asking Wally about inflationary pricing.
I know you aren't being serious about Wally and the beav. I know that you wish Beaver was more sophisticated.
I wish that the people who ran radio weren't complete clowns who deserve the worst in life.
Frightened?
Boy.
He just plugged a couple Garry things in there that I talk about, leave it to Beaver, and goes, hey, 2 people discuss. That came out.
And you're right. It's unbelievable what it can create. And yeah, it is just almost dystopian isn't quite the word, but it just reminds you of any kind of dystopian movie where that stuff takes over and you don't even know what's happening.
Let's talk about your legal practice. You're going to offer my viewers, listeners, your expertise.
Yes. So let me say something really quickly before we get started, just to cover my rear end. But in short, just a quick disclaimer. Anything I say here should not be a substitute for professional legal counsel and should not be taken as legal advice, especially for those of the members of the audience that are not in Illinois. However, if you do live in Illinois, I am a Illinois licensed attorney. But having said that, anything that I say here, again, you should check with a local licensed attorney for actual legal advice. But I wanted to give your listeners some.
But you're a licensed attorney. That's you're saying.
I
right?
am. But technically speaking, if someone is in Indiana, I am not allowed to provide legal counsel for them unless I'm licensed there. But we can certainly talk about legal issues, and that's what I wanted to address. And speaking of tech, so two things I wanted to point out for your listeners today. One will be the 2-week notice myth, I call it, when you're dealing with job loss or leaving a job. And the other is Zoom as a way to go to court, speaking of AI. So not necessarily in order, what I've learned recently, because I've been doing it, is that whether it's traffic court or civil court, if you are, let's say, unlucky enough to have a court appearance, you may well be able to attend that court hearing via Zoom. So if you, again, have a court date coming up, check with that county's website, and you may well be able to appear via Zoom, depending on the local rules. So that I have found very interesting. And these are public Zooms. Each county is a little bit different, but I will tell you, I was waiting to come on in a particular county. And and we're waiting for the judge, and everyone's muted, and someone zoomed in on purpose and threw up a porno on the Zoom site that, you know, everyone in the gallery and everyone else, it was a man by himself. We'll say that much, and it was quite graphic. So I clicked off, and when I clicked back in, everyone acted like nothing had happened. but this is the world we're living in. So Zoom is available.
That's not traffic court. Yeah. What the hell is that?
So
why did you click out? Why did you have to click out?
It was rather disgusting.
Is it wrong? Dan, is it wrong for a man to entertain during court?
and your first act, you know, your first impression is like, is there something on my computer? Like,
what? You know, I'm not gay, am I? Not that there's anything wrong with it.
I mean, it's just like, you know, a bizarre, you don't know what's happening. And your first instinct, I guess, is to think that something happened, someone hacked you. But anyway, yeah, so the judges actually warn all the people too, because you're talking about things and you're giving out information. It's a public forum. It's like being there at the gallery. So if you also just want to kind of have a real people's court, you can zoom into your local courtroom and just observe. But that's one. So I wanted to give that little tidbit. And then something that has occurred a lot over my lifetime, you know, as a lawyer in the family, I get a lot of phone calls from divorce to employment to injury. And one thing that a lot of people aren't aware of, and I even had a lawyer friend of mine not be aware of this, is that there is no such thing as required 2-week notice. And what I mean by that is, especially if you're planning to leave your job, you need to be prepared to walk out the minute you tell your boss that you're quitting, and make sure that you're not under the impression that you're going to automatically receive 2 weeks notice and 2 weeks pay from your employer, because most of us are what we call at-will employees, which is a fancy way of saying we have the same amount of leverage as the company, which is really not that true. But it means that you can leave anytime you want, and they can fire you anytime that they want for any reason, as long as that reason doesn't violate a statutory reason, race, color, religion, orientation, etc. So I just wanted to share that, again, when you're planning to leave your job, there is no mandate that your employer gives you 2 weeks pay when you leave, and you are not required to give them 2 weeks notice. Now, in most cases, employers will ask you to stay for a couple weeks to finish out whatever you might have been working on. But as a general rule, if you're going to leave your job, just be prepared to walk out the minute you tell them you're leaving.
And that 2-week notice that you would give as an employee, that was just a courtesy thing that you do.
Courtesy.
But they don't have to
100%.
reciprocate. They can just go, hey, you're out of here, get going, get your stuff and go. That's the way it is.
Yeah, exactly the way it is. And like I said, we had one of my firms I practiced at, you know, when I was a young lawyer, one of my buddies decided to go out on his own, and he was shocked. He was shocked that they told him to get out, you know, at the minute that he had it all planned out, except for that part.
All right. How do people get a hold of you, Dan, for your services?
So I see that I'm on your Facebook page. So if anyone wants to talk to me, my specialties are in injury, collections, and a little bit of employment. But I'm happy to. My gist is that I want to basically let people air their thoughts out on me, and I can let them know whether whatever it is they have is worth pursuing, either from a plaintiff standpoint or if they might need a defense counsel. I typically won't be the counsel of record, but I like to provide some advice so people have some guidance before they decide to go. It costs money, and as I tell people, you've got to get hurt really badly to get money. We make fun of the McDonald's coffee situation, but that woman was burned in a horrific way. So I digress.
Yeah.
Facebook is probably the best way, but I'm also on LinkedIn, Instagram, etc. But I see that I'm on your Facebook page, so they can message me there at their pleasure.
All right. Thanks, Dan. Always a pleasure to talk to you and get your input on things. That's Dan Fedor.
You know, all this talk about AI, there are still tells. Like a lot of times people will have extra digits and things like that. And you can tell that they're not real humans because they're oddities that should catch your eye and inform you that this is not exactly what you
Right.
expect to see as a
Right.
real
So
live
look for
human.
those little things,
Those
and then
little
you'll know.
and those people, well, they were talking similarly to us, not even close to the warmth and
Right.
and
That you get on
just
this show.
the honesty and purity that you get from people like us. So.
Right. Full disclosure, Leslie left the show 3 weeks ago, and I managed to
Yeah.
whip something up here.
But here, look at this. I can scratch my pearlicue right here. I'm scratching it right
And
now.
you know what that is now, as discussed on the show this week.
And look, do I have a nice looking tragus, everybody?
You do.
There,
I
right
love
there.
your
Thank
tragus
you.
there.
Hey.
Great. Ryan, yeah?
Hey, Garry, Caitlyn fell off a minute, so we need another minute. I don't think she's back 100%
Okay.
yet. So,
all right. Thanks for that.
there she is. She's actually here. She's back.
Okay. She's
Oh, and that's good because her daddy's in Mexico and he's waiting to see her because that's what you do in Mexico is watch a podcast from the Midwest.
But if you got that same thing that I got, they've been liquoring up for about 2 hours now. So
there was some chilling of bourbon, and so yeah. Mommy and Daddy love you, Caitlyn.
Goodness me, love you guys. That was hectic. I was running in and out. I was like, what happened?
All right, you're here, and your parents are down in Mexico having a good time.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
The whole gang is having a good time.
All right, good. So how have you been?
I'm good. I'm here, working, doing stuff, not in Cabo, but that's okay.
And you were not with us last week at Matt's barn.
I wasn't.
Because you were with your boyfriend somewhere in the woods?
Yes, I was in the middle of the woods with my boyfriend.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I was not at Matt's party. Next year, I will be, though.
All right. Well, we missed you, and we want to talk Gen Z stuff, as we do when you come on the program, and a few topics that I have sent you over the weeks to get ready for this thing about Gen Z women going to convents for the summer for peace and quiet. Is that a thing?
So I've heard nothing about that, to be quite honest. I was looking into it before we started just because it hasn't been anything that I've heard, but I kind of get it. I mean, there's a lot going on. And I kind of get wanting to flock to a convent and just kind of isolate and talk to nobody, no bullshit with guys, and just kind of take a moment to get away from life. I can't say I would do it, but I haven't really heard of it. I don't personally have any friends who have, gone to be nuns. So.
And well, they are not going to be nuns. They just go there because it's peaceful. Yeah, they're not becoming nuns. They're just hanging there. And they say there's a waiting list at these convents because so many young women are signing up to do it.
Interesting. No, I actually haven't heard of that, but I can honestly understand why they might want to. We've had hot girl summer. We've had brat summer. We've had all these crazy summers. So, as Gen Z, I think we're all starting to get older now, and we're reaching the point where we just kind of want peace.
Oh, that didn't take long.
No, I just turned 25 6 days ago, and my brain.
Happy birthday belatedly.
Thank you.
Yeah, so 25. Wow.
Yeah, my brain's fully developed now, which is
yes, it is.
terrifying.
Yeah. I'm still working on it. Someday it'll get there.
I think it takes longer for men.
It really, like about, I think 45, 50 is when we start to really, the soft spot starts to really get harder.
Yeah.
All right, here's another one. Gen Z addicted to fridge cigarettes. Fridge cigarettes are Diet Coke.
Yeah.
And that's your thing now. Diet Coke is a thing.
Oh, yeah. Diet Coke. We love our Diet Coke. We love our diet anything. We joke all the time about how, I'll have a 500-calorie latte. I will drink, tons of alcoholic drinks, shots, all that. But a full sugar soda is where we draw the line. Give me a diet.
Really?
Oh, I think all we drink is Diet Dr. Pepper, Diet Coke, you name it. We will not have a full sugar Coke for some reason.
Okay, well, I will not drink any diet drinks. I hate diet drinks.
Sorry,
Yeah.
it's really loud. My parents, honestly, too. I've never. That plane is so loud. I've never known.
Long as it stays in the air, you're still good.
That's good for me. I've never known my parents to not drink Diet Coke. So honestly, I feel like a lot of Gen Z's obsession with Diet Coke might start with their parents, to be quite honest. It's
Okay.
just always in the fridge. You always drink it.
All right. And bartenders hate when Gen Zs pay for each drink they order separate. Every time they order a drink, they pay for it, and they don't run a tab, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
And what is that true?
Yeah, I'd say we're pretty guilty of that.
And it's to manage. It says to manage the drinking, so you don't keep drinking and not be aware that you've had 3 or 4, and then you pay the tab. And I didn't want 4 or 5 drinks. Is
Yeah.
that the reason?
I would say it's more so less to do with like because you're gonna go up if you want another drink and pay it regardless. I'd say it's more so like a money aspect. It feels less bad if you're paying $10 for a drink in multiple different sections than like a $100 tab all in one.
It's all the same, but it doesn't. Yeah, but it seems like it isn't.
Like it's different. It was only $10. It's fine.
Right, and then another 10, same thing. But I just spent 10 right there.
Spent 10. And then you check your account at the end of the night, and you're like, ooh.
Yeah. Same
Yeah,
result.
so I can understand why they would be annoyed with that though, because I've gotten to the point with bartenders where they're like, opening a tab is just easier for me, and I'm like, okay, girl, I get it. Open tab, it's fine.
Okay, and order me a Diet Coke when you do.
Yeah, while you're at it.
Gen Z women are choosing older guys because a lot of Gen Z women don't like when these guys, the younger guys, start making Andrew Tate points. Like, Andrew Tate tells me everything I need to know, and then you get turned off and go, well, then I'm going to go with an older guy because they're more conservative and they're not into that macho thing as much.
Oh God, if I could punch Andrew Tate in the face, I would.
There it is. But your boyfriend is around your age.
He's like 4 years older than me, so not like a lot older than me, but older, more mature. I think that's very, very true. None of my friends, we don't date anybody who's either our age or younger. Just because honestly, for me at this point, if I even meet somebody who's 24 now, and mind you, I'm 6 days into 25. If they say they're 24, I'm like, ugh. Like I have a boyfriend, but I'm like, ew, a baby, gross. Like, I don't want anything to do with a younger man. We were just talking about brains developing. I feel like you got to find one that's had a little more time to marinate.
Well, again, guys, really slow on that one.
Yeah, my dad's he'd always told me don't date till you're 30, and I'm like, well, I mean, he kind of had a point.
My wife was telling some friends yesterday that when she first met me, we went out to my place, and she looked in one of the cabinets, and I had little army men instead of plates just lined up inside of the plate. I don't need plates. I don't eat at home much, so that kind of thing.
I would actually love that though. Like, see, that's the thing. I want somebody who's like mature in the sense of the way that they view the world and how they treat somebody. But if I walked into my boyfriend's apartment, I mean, we lived together, but like when we first started dating and he had little army men, oh my God, I'd fall even more in love. I'd be like, you are so weird.
Okay, but keep in mind, I was in my 40s when this happened. Okay, it wasn't 29. I was in my 40s.
So a little different.
Little bit.
I do know that I walked into his apartment when we first started dating, and I opened a cabinet, and it was the only things that were in there were like, I don't even know, 100 packs of Taco Bell sauces. And I was like, why do you have all of these? He's like, I don't know, I just keep them, throw them in there.
Yeah, I might need them someday.
I was like, all right, sure.
Yeah, the refrigerator, I had mustard, ketchup, and a few beers. That was it. And then she moved to the living room where I had a moving blanket folded to look like an airport runway, and it had little airplanes getting ready to take off. Mind you, I was 41 years old. Okay. Another thing that Gen Z women might do in mass, they have a swamp monster look. When they go to bed, they're wrapping their face and really getting everything tightened up, and then they go to sleep like that.
Yeah, That is 1000% true. I do it all the time. It is the ugliest thing. I feel sorry for Riley every time he has to see it. I'll have my fake tan on, and then I'll have a face mask, mouth tape, a sock in my hair, like 2 socks in my hair where I look like little antennas so that I can take it out and curl it. And it is, I wish I like had sent you a picture that you could put up, but it is bad. It takes a lot of ugliness to look cute.
This is every night you do this?
Not every night. I would say it's more so like if you have an event going on, then it's just a lot less work. Like you take off the face mask, you take out your hair, and honestly, all you have to do is like throw on some concealer and some mascara and you're good to go, which is really nice. I don't do it all the time. I don't think a lot of people do. It's more so, I mean, I go to bed looking like a rat most nights where it's like disgusting hair and, you know, I'm like, this is what it is.
Okay, and if you have that picture, send it. We'll show it on a future cocktail show.
I will find it for you.
All right, Caitlyn Sheridan, and we hope to see you singing with Oh Yes on this program in the very near future.
Yes, and I'll look forward to hopefully seeing you next year, hopefully sooner.
Yes, at Matt's Barn. Caitlyn Sheridan, thank you as always. There she is. Wow, this show, it's already almost an hour. What?
Yeah, we're getting
We
there.
just sat down. We haven't set up the giveaway.
I know.
This is. I'm going to notify the affiliates. It's going to run long.
Well, we like when that happens, and it has happened a couple times.
Because I got stuff to
recently.
show. I got pictures and stuff, and Ryan's got to jump on.
Well, as part of your tour, well, let's set up the giveaway, and I think Gen Z is the way to go here. Hashtag Gen Z, GENZ as in zebra. And let's start with our sweet little Caitlyn's house band. Oh yes, she is one of the singers and definitely the front gal for one of our favorite bands on the planet. So there's our Oh Yes t-shirt. Other Oh Yes swag, including a sticker, a bracelet, and now, starting last week, something new. And from her daddy and bass player, Brian, we got sunglasses. And it says, Brian Sheridan, Bond Journeyed. Oh, yes. These are his custom glasses.
Yes.
Let's see. Leslie from Westmont. I think she may have moved now to some northwest suburb. But anyway, little clip for your fridge. Those are.
What do you have, an air tag on her, Leslie? I got an air tag on the other Leslie.
I love to keep tabs on some of our people.
What is that?
You know, it's a little clip for your refrigerator with a magnet on it. It's where Garry would keep his lottery tickets because there should always be a place in the house. There you go. And that could be your system right there. She also gave us this cute little thing, Mimi and the Goo Goos. This is KO and his camera. I don't know. It's a little bass guy with his camera. Who is it? Stick Save? I don't know. But a really cool little puzzle ball. I pulled out one of the pieces, but I don't want to take it apart and have it fall apart completely. Tracy from Wisconsin gives us the Bendables and ball liquors. Now the cat's turning it into a toy. I'm going to have to stick it in the pocket for a second. Oh, shoot. In addition to the OES swag, we now have Bond Journey koozies.
Nice
so look
koozie.
At that. And it's summertime, so you definitely need your koozies. We've got a refrigerator magnet, although this is from last season. We're going to see about getting some new ones made here. I just thank you, Scott from Scott's Vintage Antiques and Collectible. You turned me on to the fortune-telling fish, and I'm giving away 3 of them this week, along with the prize that started it all. Your
the
very
condom.
own.
All right. Hashtag Gen Z in the queue if you'd like to grab that stuff. Hashtag Gen Z.
Gen Z.
All right. Wisconsin Ryan. Hello.
Hey there.
How have you been?
I'm okay. There's been a lot going on, but I'm doing okay.
Good. And
my picture, we talked about this a little bit, I think last week, and I got to find the picture. That would be my son in front of a thong fireworks. Package.
Okay, so there's a fireworks place. okay, and explain what he's pointing to there, and he goes, "You got to show this to Garry Meier."
Yes, he said as soon as we walked in and he saw this women's thong package there, he said, "Dad, you got to take a picture. This has got to go to Garry Meier right now." And I said, "Okay." I obliged and took a picture.
And the fireworks is called what?
I can't even. I don't write it. I can't read it.
But it's a it's a fireworks package.
It's a package of fireworks.
That's funny. I love Hank. I love when people
You see how he's posing. You know,
like this. They look at this stuff and they like the fact that I would be so happy that they thought of me.
Oh yes,
and it's so sweet that you're corrupting a new generation, Garry.
Right.
We've got Gen Z. Thank God, Caitlyn seems like she's grounded, but now we've got Henry on board too. So that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's about all that's was settling in from the fireworks, and it's been a quiet, rainy week here in Wisconsin. So not a lot to report. I had mentioned, I think we had talked about it at some point, and I don't know what some point that is, but later this year, I'm going to try to get back to doing the Wisconsin report and trying to get that fired back up.
We miss it, and I know you've got a lot on your plate, so we'll wait for you to be ready.
We'll get back on board, and at some point, I didn't talk to you about this, what I'm going to say, but I said to Hank, if you use your big voice, sometime maybe you could come on and talk to Garry and Leslie and everybody. So he said, "Wow, what do you mean use my big voice?" I said, "You got to use your big voice. You can't mumble." So maybe at some point we'll have him appear. But then he said, "Dad, I don't want to be on the whole
So he's
show.
an alpha.
I just want to be on a little bit."
He just wants to be on a segment.
Yes.
We're going to introduce the alpha generation to this podcast.
Right, let's get them young.
But he said, "I don't want to be on it the whole time. I just want a little bit." And I said, "Well, don't worry, Henry. We're not going to have you."
Right. I don't want to do this either. Why do I do it, Leslie?
Because you need to.
Because I need to do it.
Yes.
That's why I do it.
Yes.
All right. You want to motor through some pictures?
Yes. I'll kick it off, shut this off, and let me move it over.
Is this part of the Garry Meier tour?
Yeah, I've been popping around visiting people. And hey, did the tone go off?
No, I missed it.
Ooh.
See, that's how busy we are. Oh, we're going to miss the top of the hour stuff. And Max got beep in the queue. He wanted it.
He did it. So, but since we're late, I still got to play this.
Thanks for stopping by The Loop, FM 98, WLUP Chicago.
There we go. Speaking of radio, there's a picture you were.
I was on the Sherman and Tingle show this week.
Thanks for stopping.
That's what they said. Okay.
And I was on their morning show. Great guys. Really enjoyed that yesterday. All right. And here I am with Pascal, the Golden Bachelor.
Garry, how was your dinner, Garry?
Garry, we had a wonderful dinner. And he told me that they make no money by being on that show. Zero.
Oh.
Not $1.
Has
Nothing.
he talked to the Golden Bachelorette since?
No. But he's having a reunion with about 10 of the guys that were on his show. They're going to Vegas, and they're going to this thing called a Slap Fest or something. I had never heard of it until he showed me the video. And these guys, they stand there and they slap the hell out of each other. That's a thing.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's a whole event that people go watch.
Okay.
Slap Fest.
Well, but it was kind of cute because all those gentlemen who are now forced to live together for a couple of weeks seemed like they were getting along quite nicely. And Pascal, as I recall, was paying people to do things like
do his laundry.
Yeah, because I have never done my own laundry.
Garry, I don't do my own laundry, Garry. And what else?
Here's another one.
I did the WGN TV morning show there. I am with that crew. Had a good time on that.
You were the mystery guest, and they could not guess you.
They could not guess. They made some wild guesses. I thought I've worked with some of these people before that they recognize my voice, but no, not until I came out there.
Well, what was that show in the 60s? Was it What's My Line or something? And at one point, the panel would put on blindfolds and they would bring out somebody famous. And you did that thing where you had a really great and not Garry Meier-ish voice going on. It was Yes.
See, sigh. Woo. Yeah. All right. That was fun. I really enjoyed that. I was on that show when it first started 30 years ago. I was one of the first of the people in that first configuration of the show.
And
This
then you
is,
bumped them because you were too, or they bumped you rather because you were too edgy.
yeah. Yeah. This is Rich Coase. That's AKA Svengoolie at his place there. There's
Behind the
Rich.
makeup.
Yeah. Okay. Rich
He-
is he's going to Comic-Con in San Diego at the end of the month. And I think that's the original Comic-Con. He will be treated like a Beatle. He was just at the one in New York. He said the line was outside the building to get his autograph because MeTV is now in 98% of the country.
And he's a multi-generational like touchstone now. Turns out a lot of adults and their children are seeing these shows for the first time. Introducing your kid to a Mummy or a Son of Frankenstein or something like that. That's a way to bring a family together. Oh, how
Okay,
cool.
look at this. These are things that his viewers have made and sent him over the years. There are hundreds down in his studio. They're
He's
all
got a
really
photo
good.
of himself.
A
Yeah.
what?
Well, the one up top in the middle, like those big-headed collectibles. On top of that, his people show up in costume. They dress up in costume and send him photos.
Yeah.
And even our sweet Katie Sheridan and her dad have sent photos in that have been shown on the show there. So
Yeah, look at all this stuff made by viewers.
this is what I love about someone like Rich is he's got that Midwestern vibe. So he appreciates it. He hangs on to it. He's not like one of those big snooty stars who
he's
somebody else take it and then throws it away.
He's just knocked out by all this now because this is many years into his run, and now he's a superstar at this point. That's the there's a name for that. What's the Back to the Future, the flux capacitor?
Capacitor, yeah.
This is they tie it into the chicken. That's his signature.
Clux capacitor.
Clux capacitor. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah. All right. Here I am at the Toonie set, that morning show on there with Bill
Tune
Leff.
in with me.
Yeah, walked down and there I am with Toonie.
Oh,
I'm with Toonie.
Right by his little aquarium.
Aquarium, yes.
How'd you two get along? Did he ask for an autograph or anything?
I asked for an art. Listen, Toonie's the best. I mean, really.
Okay, that's true.
He's good people. He's good fish. Yeah, we had a nice talk.
He's good fish.
All right. Leslie, what do you want to do? We are 7 after the top of the hour. You want to do one story? Save them all for Monday?
Let's just do the one story.
And then
we
do you want to do sponsors after?
Oh, no, let's do the sponsors first because they deserve our attention. God love
Do you
them.
have pictures of Matt's work, Ryan?
I do.
And we'll talk about Matt and his company, Hale Street Group. He builds high-end homes in the northern suburbs of Chicago and Fontana and Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, like this. Look at that.
Oh.
Wow.
He's the stud with the studs.
The stud that puts up studs. Look at this.
There.
That looks like just an AI thing. No, that's real.
No.
He built that. He does room additions
Look
too.
at that flooring.
Yeah.
It's the bones of the house that matter. You can put up your artist, your art. You can put your furniture in there. If you don't have good bones in that house is problematic.
Them bones matter, and they will work within your budget. He'll have his in-house architect put it up on the computer, what you want, and they'll look at it and say, okay, is this good? Whatever you want. And that's what you get when you go with Matt and HaleStreetGroup.com, HALE streetgroup.com. All right. David Hochberg, I saw him yesterday. He said hello, Leslie. And yeah, that's where you go for the mortgage and the reverse loan and all that stuff associated with it. He'll save you money. Great guy. And those are the numbers, as always. Get your car washed if you're in Chicago at a Buddy Bear car wash. Give your car a bear hug. Get the goo off. You don't want goo, do you?
No.
No, a friend of mine visited me today and said, when you see my car, it's got an inch of dust on it. I haven't taken it out in a while. Get the Buddy Bear, brother.
Yeah.
All right. And the bands, Oh Yes and Bon Journey sponsor all the music on the program.
And you saw the swag that they provide for us, too.
They're on a little summer break. I'll tell you where they're going to be in the coming weeks.
And they do have a full schedule in August.
Yeah, when they get back, right.
Oh, Lordy. So here's, thanks to artificial intelligence, internet conspiracies are advancing like never before. Just this week alone, tens of millions of people on TikTok have been viewing one form or another of videos purporting to show that officials in Florida are installing incinerators at that immigration detention facility known as Alligator Alcatraz. There is zero actual evidence to support this claim, but naive viewers are buying it hook, line, and sinker nonetheless. Thanks to the quality of these AI images and the entities being used to push the narrative, like those two who were talking like us, it's getting harder to tell truth from fiction, especially since these computer-aided generated presenters use verbal tics like uhs and ums like real people would.
Okay, and to show that Leslie is AI computer-aided is not right, and that proves that she's AI.
Right. Yeah. And obviously there's nothing else about me that would indicate that I'm not
a real person. All right. All right, let's hit the button and give away stuff. How about it, Ryan? All right. All right, we're going to win all that stuff that Mitzi! All right, Ryan, tell Mitzi what to do.
Send your USPS mailing address to Garry either by texting it to 773-888-2157 or email GarryMeierShow@GarryMeyer.com. You'll get that passed over to Leslie and your prize pack will go out.
All right. That's it for this week. Back on Monday. And it is time for the cannoli coming down the aisle. It is delicious and complimentary. Please take it. Leslie, how about a schnauzer report?
You know, no matter what you do, if your schnauzer gets into trouble, talk to someone like Dan Fedor, because you don't want to deal with anything of a legal nature without proper representation.
That's right. And you're about ready to put your cat back on your lap. And
once again, I'm going to scratch my pearly-Q or my other pearly-Q.
Or
my tragus.
Your tragus.
I'm touching my tragus right now. See, if you watch or listen rather to the shows during the week, you know all of this.
Right. You might learn something.
You'll figure out what your F-hole is even.
F-hole. I'm not telling you what that. You got to listen to the show. F-hole. 3 in the green. Gear is down. Flaps are down. The voice of the globe, America's podcast, the GarrForce, has landed.
And that's all the news and nonsense for this week, GarrForce. Thank you for streaming.
If you like that, I got other stuff I think you're going to like. This is the GarrForce.
Please be sure to like and share the show on all of your social networks.
More eyeballs.
If you're not already a subscriber, show your support by subscribing to GarrForce Live YouTube channel. For those watching a replay, that button is right here. All the rest of our episodes, right here.
Boom. Shakalaka.